Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the performance review on my Alienware M15 R7. And in today's video, we will go over more on real-world use and performance, like video editing for me in DaVinci Resolve. And like I said, I apologize in advance. I don't do a lot of gaming, and I haven't done gaming in a while. So if you guys want to know the game performance, I strongly recommend that you guys go to Jared's Tech for that. With if they don't have one on the Alienware M15 R7, you could probably find one on Mash IT or Jared's Tech, or just look on similarly spec'd laptops like the ones that are on here. So what you guys are seeing right now is some Puget Bench performance scores, the ones that are outlined in red, courtesy of Jared's Tech, so you guys can see the scores for the Lenovo Legion 5i Pro and the MSI GP66 that are similarly spec laptops. Another reason why I don't like to do benchmarks is that the accuracy of the results can change from Windows updates to driver updates, firmware updates, and things like that. So I like to do more real world use and let you guys know how it performs. So that's why you guys will see a lot of my video editing work that I've done with DaVinci Resolve in this part of the video. And even with video rendering or work like with me with DaVinci Resolve, the results can be affected by how much layers of video are you doing. Like if you're putting in a lot of 3D animations or transitions and effects and things like that. So those will also affect how fast your laptop or computer can render or export the videos and how quickly it can do its job, and also how smooth the playback is when you're in your video editing software of choice. Like for me, it's DaVinci Resolve. And so far, the whole time I've been making the videos on this Alienware M15 laptop, I haven't had any problems with slowdowns or skipped frames and things like that. But that's because most of my videos are not complex. They don't require a lot of transitions or a lot of special effects and things like that. It's not like I'm trying to make a major motion picture or 3D, although the length may seem like it. So anyways, this is part 2 of the Alienware M15 R7, and hopefully you guys can get a good idea of how this laptop will perform. Also, in this part 2 of the on the benchmarks, I unplugged it from my Samsung QN90A so that it won't try to render or picture from the 4K monitor, because even then, if it tries to do the test with the 4K monitor, my 4K monitor don't have the same refresh rate as my laptop. So my Samsung QN90A TV/monitor only has a 60 Hz refresh rate in Windows, whereas my Alienware M15 R7 monitor can do 240 Hz refresh rate with 2 milliseconds of delay or response time, gray to gray. So all of those you got to take into account. So I unplugged my Samsung QN90A from the laptop, but I didn't do a restart. Like I know some of the benchmarks that people will do, they'll restart their computer and clear the memory. My memory was not cleared. I never restarted it, so take that into account also. And I did change the performance mode from balance to performance, or I think it's called full throttle. And I put I used the Alienware Command Center to overclock 1 on the laptop, I think. So here's part 2 of our performance review on the Alienware M15 R7 with the overclock 1 setting and performance mode. So since I've gotten my Alienware, I've been able to do a few video edits. I'm going to say like 5, starting with the Samsung QN90A 43-inch new TV/PC monitor that I got. And here is another edit that I have just finished. And this is on upgrading the or installing an SSD drive on the Alienware. And it's a 17-minute long 18-second video, and it took 8 minutes and 43 seconds to completely render or export. Yeah, export time right there completed in 8 minutes and 43 seconds. more video editing, this time of a 17-minute and 13-second video. This one is on talking about the display on my Alienware M15 that you can probably hear right now because it just finished doing the edit. As you guys will probably see it before this comes out, and it completed it in 11 minutes and 59 seconds. So a 17-minute and 13-second video completed in 11 minutes and 59 seconds. I've just completed a 32-minute and 27-second video in DaVinci Resolve, and it got completed in 14 minutes and 6 seconds, it says. I think that's what it says. 14 minutes and 6 seconds, and this was actually, I changed the mode on the Alienware Command Center to performance for this one, so I don't know if that made a big difference or not. I'm gonna have to like do more tests on this stuff. So as you can see right there, it says I'm in performance mode, and since I'm done editing the video, I'm gonna put it back in balance mode where it's more quiet. Actually, I didn't really hear too much of the fans going on while it was doing the rendering or the export from DaVinci Resolve, because I was actually watching a show on Netflix, and throughout the whole time I was watching that show on Netflix with the smart TV that you guys are looking at right now on this monitor, the smart TV, the Samsung Q90A. I didn't really notice the fans, if at all. But yeah, so that's a follow-up on the performance and stuff like that. This time we're going to do the test in performance mode, I guess. I also unplugged the Alienware M15 laptop from the Samsung Q90A 4K monitor. Actually, I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to put the thermal for full speed, and as you can see, it went all the way. The fan started spinning, so the thermal profile is now on full speed. I don't really know how to change the power from balanced to whatever. All it has is balance. So what I did is I'm going to change it to overclock 1, and for thermal I'm going to put full speed. And now we're going to go back to the benchmarks. So there you guys go. I got it on overclock 1, thermal, full speed. Power is balanced because I don't know how to change it. And let's see how the test ends up this time. We are on Cinebench R23 full speed and overclock 1. We got a CPU multi-score of 15,400. And now we're going to do our CPU single core test. Okay, single core test just completed, and we have 1,770 points, and here are, I guess, the results from both of those, or is it just one? But it still has my laptop at number 1 with 1,770 for the single core. So yeah, take that for what you will. Let's move on to 3D Mark. Okay, so here we are with 3D Mark, the free one with let's run Time Spy, and here we go. Let's see how it runs now and how it looks on the Alienware M15 R7 instead of my Samsung Q90A. I want to say it should look smoother because the Alienware has a faster refresh rate screen, right? Okay, here's the portion of the benchmark where they actually show you the frame rates and everything like that. And let's see if we can get closer up there. There we go. Not sure if this is for the GPU or the CPU on this first or second run where they show this. So it's averaging frames per second in the between the low 70s to low 80s, it seems like. So now it's going up to the 90s and to the 100s, so I'm not sure, but you can take that for what you will. And here's another run. And what does that say? Graphics test number 2. So I guess the first one was graphic test number 1. And let's look at the frame rates. This one must be a little bit harder on the GPU because now we're in the lower, like between 60s and, oh wait, we've gone up to 70s. Okay, now it's doing a CPU test. Apologize for the if the footage seems shaky, but trying to keep my hands as still as possible. I can't put a tripod on here. I can't fit it in. I guess it completed, and that is the score. 11,708. Graphics score is 11,672, and CPU score is 11,917. I don't remember the other scores before, so we're gonna have to go back and look at those and check them out. So on to the next test, PC Mark. Okay, we're gonna run PC Mark, and I was gonna update it to the latest version, but since I ran it with the previous version, you know, I want to keep things fair and the same. So we're just gonna run PC Mark with whatever version I had before the latest version is, and then maybe later on in the future I will update it to the latest version and do another test. We'll see you guys in a bit once this test completes. Okay, so PC Mark just completed, and our score is 7,395. And I'm going to put up on the screen the previous score so you guys can compare that. And so that is that for day 2 of synthetic benchmark scores, at least with the few that I've had, that I've been able to get a hold of and not have to pay for. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Okay, I did another PC 3D Mark benchmark with TimeSpy, and I got 11,733, and the graphics score is 11,697. The CPU score is 11,945. The one thing I forgot to do, because I haven't done these in a while, is to check the results online, and there's an option for that, just like in PC Mark, which I forgot to check. So let's do that right now. See, so right under here, underneath run again, you have this little tab. You can't really see it because it's hidden until you put the cursor over there, and it says run compare results online. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click that. Here is our results online for 3D Mark. So there we go. Take those for what you will. So my score is better than 73% of all other results. Premium gaming PC for 2020 is 19,781. So that is that. The third run of this 3D Mark benchmark with overclock 1 and fan speed at or performance or fan mode to full speed. So here we are in full speed mode. You guys can see right there, you can hear the fan spinning, but that's because I was encoding a 28-minute and 23-second video, upcoming video for YouTube, and it completed in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Basically, in full speed mode, it's completing, or it's exporting the video in half the time in DaVinci Resolve, more than half the time, considering 28 minutes and 23 seconds, and then it completed in 12 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so now that the video is completed, we can go back to balance mode. Balanced. You can see, or you can hear, the fans are spinning down, and it'll start to, the noise will start going back down, and then the laptop will go back to normal. I would say kind of silent, not quite, but not noisy either. Here we are running SpecView Perf. This is like one of those 3D rendering software benchmarks. Okay, so here is our SpecView Perf 2020 results. I'm not sure what any of these scores mean, but you can compare it with some other ones, and so it shows you the score and the resolution, I guess, where it's at on a window, and then view set is the test that they were running, and then the composite score is the score of your computer. So yeah, so take those for what you will and compare them with others you can see online, and let's see some other benchmarks. Okay, so I just downloaded the Puget Bench DaVinci Resolve right here benchmark. So we're gonna run it, and like I said, we're on balanced power. Most of these tests are on balanced power and not even overclocked or on performance mode or anything like that. Guys, do take note, some of these benchmarks are like very big. The DaVinci Resolve benchmark for Puget Bench is actually bigger, the file is to download, than the actual DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve I think is only 2 or 2.5 gigs, whereas the Puget Bench DaVinci Resolve benchmark is almost like 5 gigs. I think it said like 4.5 or something like that gigabytes. I couldn't download Premiere Pro because the requirements were you needed at least 32 gigabytes of RAM. My laptop only has 16, and I'm not very fond of like going into, you have to go to the Adobe. Yeah, so to get the Premiere Pro or Photoshop, you had to get it on Adobe Exchange and sign up for an account or use your Google account, which is not something I actually wanted to do, and not fond of that. And then when I did logged into my Google account to get to go on Adobe Exchange, it couldn't install the file from online or something like that. So I decided not to use it. Yeah, so not a fan of that, having to go to Adobe Exchange. And then, as you guys can see right there, system requirements says 32 gigabytes of memory. My Alienware only has 16 gigs. And like I said, the Adobe Photoshop, it says may be able to be used with 16 gigs, but I couldn't get it to install from their online installation. So that scratches that for the two Adobe software. So I think this is the actual test. There's nothing really visual. It's just yeah, this is the actual test that it's doing right now. There's no visuals or anything on the test. I don't know, also this might have an effect on the score, but my antivirus, Kaspersky Total Security, kept giving me pop-ups with the benchmark test saying it needed to allow access for internet or some other stuff with my audio. So I'm not sure what those were. So that might have an effect on this benchmark. Benchmark completed. Standard overall score 1,277. View full results. Let's do it. And there it is. 1,277. There's the specs. The processor, Intel Core i7 video card, Intel Iris. Oh, and the NVIDIA GTU. Let's okay, so if we go back to Puget Systems, download benchmarks and then recent results, you could see this up the very top. It'll show you the most recent DaVinci Resolve free score, and that was an ASRock X370 Tai Chi, and that's probably a desktop system. AMD Ryzen 9 3900X 12-core processor, 64 gigs of RAM, and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080, and that score is 1,250. So my laptop actually beat out a desktop with a higher spec NVIDIA GeForce RTX and more RAM, 64 gigs of RAM compared to my 16 gigs. Not bad at all. And remember, that's in balance mode and it's not overclocked or anything. So that is it for part 2 of my Alienware M15 R7 performance review. So like I said, benchmarks can only tell you so much. Depending on Windows updates, the benchmarks may perform faster or slower. And also depending on your NVIDIA drivers or your firmware on your laptop could also affect the performance in benchmarks and also in real-world tests. But I usually like to rely on real-world tests more than benchmarks. And so far, I mean, not that my video editing or my exports for DaVinci Resolve are that complex, meaning, like I said in the beginning, I don't use a lot of layers in my videos or a lot of 3D animations or effects and things like that. So take those for what you will. All in all, the performance has been very good on my Alienware M15 R7. And the export times are, as you can see, they're almost double or more than double of what the actual time of my videos are when it comes to completing the export in DaVinci Resolve. So that is it. If you guys are interested in this Alienware M15 R7, you can find more information on the links in the bottom of the description. There are no affiliated links as I don't have any affiliation with Dell, other than I owe them a lot of money for this probably. I do have a Dell Preferred Rewards membership. That's probably how I was able to get this laptop in the first place. Yeah, but other than that, Dell hasn't paid me any money to say anything good or bad about this laptop in this performance review or in future reviews. So with that, if you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at The Workout Geek for all my latest happenings and great workout tips. Until next time, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.